Well, folks, now that we're officially in 2022 and session is upon us here in Albany, there's a lot of gun control bills to talk about. We need you guys to help us take action against so we can shut it down. The biggest one of all that we're going to talk about in today's video is Assembly Bill 7771. It is perhaps the worst gun control bill that I have ever seen in my entire life working in gun politics. It is a doozy. We're going to break that down here in just a moment. But before we do that, I want to pause for a few moments here and talk about the context of what's going on right now in Albany, because there's different factions right now here in the Capitol who are fighting for control of the agenda for 2022. And if we know what's going on, we can perhaps more effectively use our grassroots pressure to defeat gun control bills in the Capitol. So there's three warring factions right now in the legislature. First, you've got the Republicans, and of course, they're in the minority. They've got very little power right now. That's not anything new. Some of them are very, very good on our Second Amendment rights. Some would stab us in the back if they could when it came to our gun rights, and many are just kind of there in between, not taking a stand either direction. That's faction number one. Faction number two is the AOC-style crazy thug, communist-style politicians who are desperate to pass heinous gun control bills like A-7771. Again, they're kind of AOC-style radicals. They're starry-eyed crazies. And they're willing to pass gun control even if that means they may cost themselves or their colleagues their re-elections in 2022. We saw this happen at the national level in '94 with the Clinton assault weapons ban, right? And we saw it again in 2010 when Nancy Pelosi passed Obamacare. The Democrats knew this may very likely cost them control of Congress, and it did in both cases. But these people are much more interested in passing policy because they kind of assume that if we lose control of a state capitol or the White House or the Congress, we'll get it back eventually, but meantime, we want to pass the policy. And so we have these AOC-style radicals here in Albany who are pushing the most incredible gun control bills we've ever seen. But then we have the rest of the Democrats in the legislature. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying for a moment these people are somehow pro-gun or not an enemy to gun owners. They hate you. They hate the Second Amendment. They hate me. And they would love to pass gun control. They've done it in the past. But more than anything else, this center road, let's call them Democrats, they're much more interested in maintaining power. They just simply want to be in office. And they're willing to stop the advancement of legislation if they think it may hurt them personally in their districts in November, or if they think that this may endanger their control of the Assembly or Senate in Albany. And there is a growing number of people right now in the Capitol who are starting to ask the question out loud, is there a chance that gun owners might flip the Senate in 2022? You see, they're all watching the poll numbers. They're all watching Joe Biden go straight down to the bottom. His poll numbers are the worst we've ever seen. And they're concerned that Joe Biden's negative popularity combined with a radical gun control agenda may cost them individually their seats if they're in vulnerable districts, or it may cost their party control of the Senate. And when you add in what happened in the Virginia elections just in November of last year, you had Terry McAuliffe, former governor, gun control zealot, who was soundly defeated in Virginia. You had the House of Delegates in Virginia flipped back to GOP hands. We almost saw Governor Murphy in New Jersey get his butt whooped as well. It was very, very close, far more than it should have been. And so now, with all these things in the background, a lot of Democrats in Albany are saying, you know what? Yeah, we're all about passing gun control, but maybe not in 2022. We don't want to endanger control of our majority. And so as gun owners, we have a real chance now in 2022 to put the brakes on gun control. All we have to do, and I say that in quotation marks, I know it's not easy, all we have to do is remind these Democrats, the ones that still think about self-preservation and control of the legislature, remind them that, you know what, you're right to be afraid. Between Joe Biden tanking your party and gun owners across the state of New York being much more organized and aggressive at election time, you're going to be held accountable and you're going to pay a price if you pass legislation like AB 7771. So whatever else you do all year long, whether you're getting videos from us, direct mail from us, emails from us, text alerts from us, hit the links, sign your petitions, make your phone calls, send in your emails, because these people are scared right now. Not openly. They're not going to admit to that. And the AOC-style Democrats aren't scared of anything. They would sacrifice power to pass ideology, to pass policy. But a lot of these folks right now in the middle are concerned. And if we feed that fear, that is the best chance we have at stopping gun control. And again, there's many gun control bills in the works in Albany. There always is. But the big one today that we're going to talk about and we're going to break down in detail is Assembly Bill 7771. It has a Senate companion bill, S3018. Now, this is the mother of all gun control bills. It's the gun control mega bill for 2022. You've heard a lot about various elements of this bill in the past as standalone bills, but what we have here is everything bad you can possibly think of wrapped into one bill. So let's break this down here for you guys in detail. Again, whatever you do, hit the link, sign your petition, send your email, make your voice heard, and help us feed the fear that Democrats are quietly experiencing right now here in Albany, and make sure they know their right to be concerned. If they don't hear from gun owners, that fear is going to dissipate, and we're going to see action on bills like this. So that's the context. Here's the policy. This, again, is Assembly Bill 7771, Senate Bill 3018. And what it's designed to do is just simply end the Second Amendment here in New York State. It would do that in a couple of ways. First, it's going to modify the rules on how to get a pistol permit, but also the same tyranny that it applies on pistol permits would now be applied to all long gun purchases. And for people outside of New York State, you might not know that for those of us in New York, long guns, your regular long guns, are not registered. And there's no paperwork required to get one. That's separate from an AR-15. I'm not talking about that. But for regular long guns, rifles, and shotguns, there is no registration. The gun grabbers hate that, and they're going to fix that, their words, not mine, with this bill. So again, A-7771 would institute a pistol permit equivalency for long guns. But before you can get that, here's what you have to do. Number one on this bill, you would have to pass a state-administered mental health exam as a condition of applying for a pistol or now a long gun, a mental health exam. I don't know what would make a Joe Stalin smile more, or Chairman Mao from last century China smile more than this. The idea of using mental health diagnoses as a weapon against political opponents has been around for a very long time, only not in this country. Not in this country. And so if this passes, you're going to have state-approved psychiatric staff giving you a mental health exam as a condition of buying all long guns or handguns. I can't even begin to discuss how unconstitutional and evil this is. Basically, anybody who supported Trump in the past, anybody who loves the Second Amendment, anybody who hated Governor Cuomo or who hates Governor Hochul, anybody who stands up for freedom and simply says, I don't like the statist agenda being pushed on us in Albany, would obviously be deemed not mentally sound. You would not be allowed to have a permit or to buy a long gun. It's just that simple. That's what it would do. It would be a blanket disarmament process for all gun owners here in New York. Who the hell decides what your mental health looks like if it's being administered, if the test comes from a state-sanctioned psychiatrist? If anybody needs these exams, it's the Democrats in Albany pushing garbage like this. So that's number one. There's a whole lot more. Number two, you have to also provide notarized proof that you have passed a drug test. You have passed a drug test, because everybody who wants to buy a firearm is a druggie, according to these people. So you have to pass a drug test. Now, don't get this wrong in your head. Don't say, well, I don't do drugs. I can pass a drug test. That is not the point. That is not the point. This is incredibly unconstitutional. Nothing about this is in the Constitution. You should never have to prove that you're not on a narcotic. Because the issue is not if you're on narcotics or not. The issue is that it's not constitutional for these thugs to require this of us. But that is built right into Assembly Bill 7771. So that's number one, mental health exam. Number two, passing a drug test. Number three is a 5-hour firearms course that you have to take with a live fire test that you have to pass with a 90% passage rate. Now, that's not hard, right? That's not hard. Anybody who target shoots at all, who takes training seriously at all, can pass an exam like that. But again, the point is not can you pass it. The point is that these statist thugs should never be in a position to make us have to pass an exam like this. Because you know who's not passing a mental health exam? You know who's not passing drug tests or live fire shooting tests? It's the thugs, the criminals, who have made our violent crime rates go through the moon in the last 2 years across New York State. We have epidemic levels of violence, and it's caused by the criminals who Cuomo and now Governor Hochul have released from prison due to COVID-19 responses or due to their insane bail reform laws. These are the criminals who are walking our streets, terrorizing law-abiding New Yorkers, and they're damn sure not going to go through exams like this. Number four, I forgot to mention this, but number four, when you go for your live fire shooting exam, you have to go with, quote, let me find the exact quote here, using the type of rifle or shotgun he or she anticipates purchasing, possessing, or acquiring. So before you could get a permit to buy a long gun, you have to somehow previously possess or have access to that long gun, and then take a shooting test with that firearm and pass that test with that gun, 90% or higher, to be approved to buy the gun. It is madness. Every single part of this is designed to make gun owners say, you know what? It's just not worth it. It's just not worth it. That is the goal behind legislation like this, to make you say it's not worth it. And if you want to proceed anyway, then make it impossible to pass this with mental health exams and garbage like that. Finally, number five, you have to provide proof with a receipt of purchase, a physical receipt of the purchase of a gun safe, to have as a condition of applying to buy a firearm if this bill becomes law. Now, again, gun owners have gun safes. That's not that hard. Many of us have a lot of gun safes. That's not a big deal. But never fall into the trap of saying, well, I can comply with this, I can comply with that, I have a gun safe, and I can pass a drug test, I can do this, I can do that. That's the point. You should never, ever be in a position where the state can require you to do so. They're not doing this to violent criminals. They are protecting them. They are releasing them from jail. They are making it against the law to require cash bail. As they demonize the police, defund the police, everything about this is intentional. They're trying to create chaos on our streets, which they have done, and then, as a solution to that chaos, they want to demonize you and me. That is what this bill does. You see, you and I, gun owners, law-abiding New Yorkers, we are the ones who are the source of, the cause of all this chaos. That's what they want you to believe. So with the chaos upon us, well, certainly we're not going to object now to a common sense gun control bill. That's what they hope. That's what they want. But we're damn sure not going to do that. So that's what the bill does. Right now in the Assembly, this bill has 11 co-sponsors, and it's picking up more co-sponsors right now, and probably wouldn't be surprised to see many more add their names to this now that we're in the new year and session is upon us. In the Senate, Senate Bill 3018, that's sponsored by Senator Kevin Parker. He is a thug. He is a criminal. He is a piece of trash. He's the kind of guy who tells people he doesn't like on Twitter, go kill yourself. That's the kind of thugs. That's the kind of scum that we're dealing with in Albany right now. So again, a Kevin Parker, he's not going to care what he hears about from gun owners. We know that. That's not the point. The point is that all of the rest of the Democrats in Albany, all the ones who are in vulnerable districts across the state, they are concerned about garbage like this. They know this is unconstitutional. They know this would probably not survive a court challenge, though it would take years for this to be stripped down or repealed in court. But they know what's going to happen really quick is the midterms. And they're concerned about that. Joe Biden is destroying their party. Thank God for that. And they're afraid that Joe Biden, plus legislation like this, is going to destroy them and their conference during the midterms. So, folks, we now as gun owners have an obligation to inundate the Capitol with pressure. So I don't care if you've never sent an email into the State House before, if you've never made a phone call before, it's time to get off the bench. It's time to get engaged in this fight. If a bill like this passes, you're going to see the entire state of New York eventually become disarmed. That, of course, is their agenda. That is the goal. But if we stand up right now, we make our voices heard, and thunder with our opposition to this, I believe we can kill this bill in Albany. Again, it's not going to be killed because the rest of the Democrats in the building don't like gun control, but they like power more than anything else. So, guys, take a moment, hit the link below, take action, oppose this bill. If you can donate and chip in $25 or $2,500, whatever you can do to help out, make a donation and get involved in this fight. Lastly, guys, share our video so everyone knows what's happening here in Albany. We'll keep you guys informed. Watch your inbox for more updates. Watch our Facebook page and watch our website. We'll keep you guys informed. Thank you and stay safe.